Hi everyone! If you're new to my channel, my name is Jocelyn and I live in Tokyo, Japan with my husband and my 10-month-old baby Asahi. And today I'm here to talk about my top 5 reasons why I love living in Tokyo with a baby. So let's jump right into it. So reason number 1 is that nursing rooms are everywhere. And when I mean nursing room, baby room, whatever you want to call it, it's basically a place where you can nurse a baby. There will be a specific room or cubicle that you can sit in and nurse or feed a baby. There's also several changing tables usually, and sometimes there's even like a hot water machine so you can make formula or mix up baby food or heat up baby food easily if you need to. And these baby rooms are located in most large department stores. There's also usually changing tables in every single train station, which is so convenient. So basically anywhere you go in Tokyo, you will be able to pretty easily find a baby room to nurse or change your baby, which is just the most convenient thing. I've talked about it in a previous video, but because we don't really drive cars here, you don't always have a private place where you can nurse or just do anything with a baby in private. So it's so convenient to have these types of nursing and baby rooms so that you can take care of anything you need to do with your baby in a quiet place. If your baby's anything like mine does not like to nurse when there's stuff going on because he wants to look around and notice everything. So having a quiet room where I can nurse him is so nice. So I love that about Japan. It's so convenient. Next up, reason number 2 is that transportation in Tokyo is amazing. We have above ground train systems, subway systems, bus systems, of course taxis as well. It is so easy to get around, and I mean, compared to purchasing a car and insurance and gas, it's actually relatively cheap to take the train around Tokyo. So I pretty much take the train every single day, and I usually put my baby in a baby carrier when I go on the train, but that's only because I'm not very confident with lifting up my heavy stroller on and off the train. But if you can baby wear, riding the trains is so convenient, and you can get pretty much anywhere. Like from where I live, I can pretty much get anywhere in Tokyo that I would want to go within 30 minutes. And that includes, leaving my house, going to the station, riding the train, and then getting off at my destination. If you're living in Tokyo, I highly recommend familiarizing yourself with the train system so that you can use it to the best of your ability. And going off of that, Google Maps is excellent. It always tells you the best routes, and of course it's in English. There's a lot of great Japanese apps as well, but for me it's not as convenient as Google Maps is. So if you're coming and moving to Tokyo or traveling to Tokyo, make sure you know that you can still use Google Maps, and it's just as awesome as other places in the world. So that's great. The third reason why I love living in Tokyo with a baby is there are so many organizations and groups that you can be a part of to help build your community around yourself. So being a mom, it can be super isolating, at least for me, and I think a lot of other people. It can be really difficult, especially if you're a first-time mom or a first-time parent, to find friends that you have a connection with, because usually not all of your friends have babies yet, or maybe you don't have family, especially if you're an expat living in Japan, you don't have family around to help you and support you. So it's super important to build that community around yourself. And luckily in Tokyo, we have some excellent communities that you should definitely be a part of if you live here. And number 1 is Tokyo Pregnancy Group. So if you are pregnant right now, then you should definitely look into joining Tokyo Pregnancy Group. It's a Facebook group as well as an email newsletter, and there's 2 meetings every month where they have different speakers that come and talk about things that would relate to pregnancy. So I highly recommend you join that. And I'll make sure to link below Tokyo Pregnancy Group. Then there's also Tokyo Mothers Group. So once you actually have your baby, you should definitely join Tokyo Mothers Group, because there's, again, tons of events that are for people with children that are organized. And it's also a great place, especially on Facebook, to ask different questions about your baby or about recommendations for things in Tokyo. Or even outside of Tokyo. There's a lot of people that live other places in Japan that can kind of give you some recommendations. And I think the group has about 4,500 members or something, so it's a great resource. And I'll make sure to link that below as well. And that's pretty much where I started building my community in Tokyo, and I also have 7 tips for how to build your community if you're interested in that, and I'll make sure to link that blog post below so that you can access that if you would like to read it. So other than Tokyo Pregnancy Group and Tokyo Mothers Group, there's also a ton of local play groups that you should definitely check out. I know there's one in Roppongi that meets, I think, every week possibly, or twice a month, and they're just all over Tokyo. There are local playgroups that you should definitely try to find. And of course, Tokyo Mothers Group is a great place to find out about those playgroups, so you should definitely join those groups. And the 4th reason that I love living in Tokyo is there are so many parks, baby play places, museums, basically just kid-friendly spaces where kids would like to be. So there are, of course, outdoor parks, and some of them you will pay to enter, some of them you will not. They're great for picnics, they're great for playing on like the play structure. And there are also indoor play places called jidokan. And those usually are run by your local ku, like your local ward, and usually they are free if you live in that area. So there are those types of places, and there are also certain museums, like for example there's in Shinjuku a toy museum, and it's basically a big place where you can play with a bunch of wooden toys. There are so many things that you can do and take your baby or your children to that they would definitely enjoy. If you're interested in finding out more about those types of places, I would recommend looking at several different websites. So there's the Tokyo chapter blog. She does amazing recommendations for so many different neighborhoods in Tokyo and different things to take your kids to. And there's also Hike It Baby Tokyo. They do events every single week, different hikes around in and around Tokyo, and they're excellent as well. And I'll make sure to link these websites below. 3 is Best Living Japan. She also does that website also has a lot of great recommendations for different places where you can bring your children, or child-friendly places in Tokyo. So I will link all 3 of those resources below because you should definitely check them out. Okay, and last, my 5th reason why I love living in Tokyo with a baby is that we have 2 international airports. And this is super important if you have family that is outside of Japan, because you are probably going to be going and traveling to see them. So it's super important to have those airports close. We have Haneda Airport, which is more in Tokyo proper, and for me it's about 45 minutes in a taxi to get there. You can also take a train, and then of course we have Narita International Airport that's a little bit further away, but they also have great flights. So having those international airports is super convenient because you can travel all around the world from this one location. You don't need to take a train from outside of Tokyo. You can just take a taxi or take an express train in the case of Narita, and you can go pretty much wherever you want to go, which is great. And additionally to that, we have a Shinkansen station in Tokyo Station and Ueno Station. So if you want to travel somewhere within Japan, it's super convenient for that as well. And you can just take the Shinkansen, which is so nice. And actually, one pro tip, on the Shinkansen, there's actually a multi-purpose room, which is sort of like a baby room. So you could nurse your baby in there, and usually you have to ask to have it unlocked because it's normally locked. But if you do get on the Shinkansen with your baby, just go and find someone who works and just ask to use the multi-purpose room, and you will most likely be able to. And it's a great place if you kind of need more space to relax and not worry about covering up, especially if you're nursing. It's the perfect space. So I definitely recommend checking that out if you are ever on the Shinkansen with your baby. Alright, and I think that's about it for this video. Those are my top 5 reasons why I love living in Tokyo with a baby. And if you have any other videos you would like me to do, any questions about living in Japan with a baby, I would love to talk more about that. I'm trying to post videos every week, so please give me some ideas for what I should film next. Alright, thanks so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!